What's going on, Tamers? It's your boy Dan from DigiGuard United, bringing you guys another meta snapshot. We're finally in BT16, and we get to dive into newer decks. Things we can finally talk about is exciting, new techs, new everything. Some still the same old, decks coming back like Numemon and Mirage, but they coming in with brand new spice. You know what I'm saying? So super excited to talk about it. Let's play TCG's online regional. Your boys, Dan and Varney, joined, and obviously we didn't do well, as you probably will hear by the pod at this point, how unfortunate we did. But let's just jump into the breakdowns, right? So 359 players, nice to hear. 9 rounds of Swiss. We have Numemon that won this tournament in a dominant fashion, taking 7 out of the 16 spots. Oh, 8. Oh, it's actually 8. I thought it was 7. My fault. So half of top 16 was Numemon, which is pretty crazy to see, right? Then you have 3 yellow vaccine, 2 Mirage, 1 blue flare, 1 Ulforce, and 1 Magnamon X. And so let's jump right into it. We have is first place. This is Huang Zero. Shout out to him. Shout out to the boy. Great player, being able to win a regional again. And he played Numemon, right? And this is what Numemon can do, right? With BT16 now, we can run 8 Ukomons, which is pretty crazy, right? Being able to get that consistent searching going, getting that consistent plus memory and hatching. You just get so much aggression having 8 Ukomons now. And your other rookies is pretty usual now. I think is you'll see quite often is the floodgates. You'll see like a wide variety of Chikori and Chumons depending on the ratio they want, and that's usually usually that's it that you're gonna see for your rookies. And of course your champion line is still going to be the same. You're going to have your Garymon, you're going to have the RB1 Numemon at some number, you're going to have the Rush Numemon at some number, and of course you're going to have your Numemon X at 4, because Numemon X is the GOAT of this deck, right? And then we see some real spice coming in at the low 5 spot, right? He should have 4 Monzi X and 4 RB1 Magnamon. That's inclusion, that's an obvious. But the tech, again, he talked about this in his, deck profile. So you want to hear more details from him, you should check that out. But he's running the Edamon. So what this does, this is the EX5 Edamon. This allows you to on-play when Digimon and give one of your opponent's Digimon a -3k until the end of their turn. And then start of their main phase, they gain this Digimon attacks. So now if you have the bulk ace, which we see right here, right, at 3 of, in your hand, you play that, you force their Digimon to attack, you go into the Volk Ace, you go -5 to the board, a pseudo rule mode, clear all the small bodies if possible, and then you're gonna go into potentially pop that big body that you targeted, right? That combo is such a crack combo in my opinion. That combo is just like a game changer for sure. It's so crazy how strong it is. And then at his level 6 spots, he has, again, the Valkyrie Ace that we mentioned before. What Valkyrie Ace does, if you don't know, is that on Digivolve, you can give your opponent's board a -5k. And then all turns, once per turn, when a card is removed from a security stack, delete one of your opponent's 8k or lower DP. And this effect, then delete the Digimon gains second attack +1 to end your turn. And then overflow, obviously. So the crazy thing about all this, right? If you blast Digivolve on your opponent's turn, if for some reason your all turns effect doesn't pop a Digimon, that second attack +1 carries over until your next turn. So now this thing can swing for 2 checks, and again, if it doesn't pop anything, then it swings for 3 checks, which is really strong. And at 12k, it can live a lot, but it's a good chance it dies, right? And then 3 Platinum Numemon, that's pretty standard for Numemon in today's game. Running 3 of you, trash it with Garymon, sets your future plays up. Great card. And then the one of Venusmon. I'm sure this Venusmon was really for like the Magnamon X matchup, because Venusmon does stop Magna X effect. When it becomes their turn with when it has second attack -1, they can't activate their one Digimon effects. So it's a good little tech choice if you need it, especially when you're versing it. But this type of deck can just go so fast that you might even it's irrelevant to you probably. Then at 7s, running Numemon and Dex, the obvious choices. At options, Protoform, an obvious choice. And then at Tamers, which he gets a little different than what BT15 was running. Obviously Satsuki, 2 of, so you gain that rush, potentially Numemon for gain type of thing. Then he's running 2 Louis, so Louis helps raise your Digimon, and then you gain a memory when you do it. So if you have like the Ukos, you could just, gain a lot of memory, do a lot of shenanigans, get real aggressive real fast, and it's pretty crazy. And then finally, he is running Purple Mats. This card is a memory tamer. So normally, Numemon doesn't really run a memory tamer because you're able to gain so much memory in the deck with Ukos, with Sasuke. If you're running black base in BT15, sometimes you're running the Agumon starter main gain of memory. There was many ways to gain memory. But now with 8 Ukos, you're probably not going to be running those like other choices with like Agumon, Agu X and stuff. And so this is a good choice if you see it, right? It's a memory tamer, so you're always going to start at 3. And in all turns, when effect trashes a card from your hand, suspended the tamer and gain a memory. So, you go Garrymon, drop the Platinumon, gain a memory for free basically. This becomes a 2-cost Garrymon potentially, if you think about it like that. You could do a lot of combos, right? You go Platinumon, you play on your opponent's turn, you can gain the 2 memory back and then gain an additional memory off of Mat and potentially stealing turn because you're stealing 3 memory instead of 2, which is kind of crazy sounding to me. Next we're gonna have is, I wish they had the name on here. This is, sorry, we're going to go back real quick. We're looking at 5th place Tyler Sears, 4th place Austin Helmogard Numemon deck. This deck is basically the same as Huang Zero's. Only difference is he has RB1 Numemon at 3. And he's playing War Mazimon instead of Edamon. He still did really well even without that crazy tech. Just because the deck is so better now with Valkyrie Ace in my opinion. It's a crazy card. And then everything else is pretty much the same. The only thing different is Digimon Emperor. Digimon Emperor is really good into the mirror, especially. Really good against Red Hybrid. It's really good against anything that's a go low deck that likes to rush and that's playing Ukamon basically, Pretty good card. Next we have his 5th place Tyler Sears. This deck list is basically, it is identical to Huang Zero's. So he just got 5th place with it. Nothing different, it's just the same deck. Mind you, just another thing I didn't mention previously. So far, all 3 of these are running black base. In my opinion, black base is your better version just because you have that potential need, if you need to, Evo in the back, especially if you're against like a Digimon Emperor, or if you just got nothing going on and you just need an Evo just to get some draws going. Next we have is now, look, purple base. This is the 4th one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, Christian Apinero. Purple base, Numemon. He is also running the Edamon tech. So you got your usual suspects at rookies, 8 Ukos, the Gabumon. He's running the Psychmon, I guess to stop, opposing Dexmon plays. And then 1 Pillowmon, which is interesting. This Pillowmon is a floodgate that says players can't play Digimon by effects, which can help against the mirror or anything else that plays Digimon by effects. But it can hinder you as well, so you have to watch out for that. Like, you gotta play it at the right time, in my opinion. Same low 4 lineup, not to talk about there. Low 5s, again, he's running the Edamon tech, which is pretty good. And then he's running Magnamon X and Mazimon, of course. 3 Valkyrie, 2 Platinumons, which is interesting. He's running 2 Venusmon. I guess he was really trying to make sure he has an answer against Magnamon X, which is pretty important in this format. Then Dex and Shine Room Mode, good cards. 2 Protoforms, so yes, he wanted to see it more often. Protoform is really good, being able to recover, being able to recycle a piece that you may need. Really good card. then 2 Louis, 2 Sasuke, and then the 1 Mashida. So, you know, the Tamer line is pretty much the same. Then we have is 8th place, Mitchell Bayer. He is running black base Numemon. Let's see what we got here. Oh, he's running a Chumon. No Chikurimon, just Chumon, 4 of them. And 8 Ukos, obviously. He's running he's not running the Rush Numemon. So he's running the Garymon instead. I guess he really wanted to focus on that second attack +1, second attack -1, especially with Venusmon. If you have Venusmon out already, you just target like a Magnamon X, and then it can't activate its Digivolve effects, which is pretty good. And then the level 5s, the 8, you already know, Monze X. Then he's running 2 Chimeramon, which is interesting. Still a really good card in BT16, being able to, you know, DNA, especially if you need to go for a game, maybe you have multiple champions on board. It's a really good card. And only 1 Volk Ace. I think for me personally, I have to play a minimum 2 to 3. That card is just way too good to not be able to see it more times. And then Platinumon, Vetusmon, of course, 2 Room Mode, no Dex, 2 Protoforms, Digimon Emperor, and Louis. Pretty interesting. Next we have is Matt Palazzi, 10th place. Ooh, spicy. We got red eggs out here, so that's interesting. With Uko, it doesn't matter, right? You can evo on any color, so makes sense, right? He's also running 4 Agumon. So I mentioned that before. Black base used to run Agumon. That Agumon right there started main gain of memory. And then all turns when attack is switched, you gain a memory as an inheritable, which comes up maybe once in a while. But he's living on the edge, you know. He wants to gain as much memory as possible, probably, and that's why he's running it. He's running red Koromon, which is interesting because with the Agu, you still can Digivolve over, so it doesn't matter, which is pretty cool. And then level 4s, he's running 1 of each of everything at least. 1 of the newer Garymon, RB1 Numa, 4 Gary, the trash one draw 2, 1 Rush, and then Numa X. And then as level 5s, as we're seeing it quite often, is the Edamon Tech. It's such a go to play with Monze X, and he's running Valkyrie Ace, Platinumon, Venus, and Room Mode as his top ends. Protoform, Emperor, Louis, Matt. It's pretty your usual tamers, it seems like, in this format so far. And then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the last Numemon deck we're going to be talking about, which is 13th place Enrique Carvalho. And we have, here we go. Black base once again. You know, you got the Chikuri, Chumon split with the Ukos. 4 of each Numemon. He's not running the RB1 one. He's running Wormonzimon. Wormonzimon is still a good card, but I think the Edamon Tech with Valk is just so good that you kind of don't care about the D-Digivolve, you know? So on play, when Digivolve, you can Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon by trashing a Numemon and name from its source or from your hand. And then if it's on play, you can place 1 Numemon and its name from your trash as a Digimon's bottom lose card. And then your opponent can't attack with Digimon with play cost 5 or less. If you can rush down, you can just play that and then stall them for a turn and potentially, you know, get rid of it afterwards. And of course, you know, Monze X, Volk Ace at 2 of 3, Platinuma, Venus, Rumo, Dex, Protoform, and he's running 2 kill options, which is interesting. Heaven's Judgment, really good card. Arguably, you know, arguably can be talked about being on the ban list, you know? That's how crazy it is. So if you have green Digimon or Tamer in play, you may use this card while meeting the color requirements. Next 6, and the next 6 again for every color. So you can potentially get a lot of colors on here. You could definitely get whites, black, yellow, red, purple as well. You get a lot of colors and you do a lot of damage with it. And then X program is pretty interesting. So X program lets you delete your opponent's board, basically. So while you have a Digimon with Dex or Death X in his name in play, you may use this card without meeting the color requirement. Main, delete one Digimon without X-ing by its traits. If there are 3 more Digimon in play, delete all Digimon without X-ing by its traits instead. So like if you have Monty X on board, you're safe and you're just blowing up your opponent's board, which is pretty crazy. And then 2 Digimon Emperor, 2 Sasuke. Those are, we're seeing a common theme with the tamers for sure. Next we have is yellow vaccine armors. Yes, we do. This second place, Brennan Ringle. This deck is pretty crazy in my opinion. Being able to cheat out your Magna X's, basically Rapid X's with Patamon. Being able to go Patamon, go into a Rapamon, and then go Emissary, and then go into Rapid X. It's crazy ass play you could do, right? You can also do that with Magna X as well, with the Gold Digimon, I think as well, or even just a regular Rapid. So his lineup is, 2 Kuda, so that's your Searcher. That card's gonna grab anything basically plus a Tamer, which is really good. Patamon, we already know what it does. Starting your main, you can look at your security, evo to a low 4 for free, and then you gain a memory. And then Pillowmon is a good 3rd, 4th option in yellow vaccine armors, being able to stop your opponent from playing Digimon effects by Digimon. Stop playing Digimon by Digimon effects, right? And then 2 Uko. The Uko is so good, you for 1, but then when you raise a Digimon up, you can activate the effect to search top 3, grab any Digimon or Tamer, which is really good. And then at your low 4 spot, you got your 8 Rapidmons. You gotta have them, and then the Gold Veedramon. Gold Veedramon is an alright card. I'm not sure how I feel about Gold Veedramon in this deck. I think I would, for me personally, consider like the BT8 Magna, because you have a lot of armors. But for anyone who doesn't know what this card does, you can evo for 3 from a level 3 yellow, or evo for 2 for a Veemon. Armor Purge, obviously. When Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -2k for the turn. If you have a blue or yellow Tamer in play, or if you have a card with the Armor Form trait in your trash, one of your opponent's Digimon with 6k or less can't attack or block until the end of their turn. Which is really good to be able to stun your opponent's Digimon. Always really good. And then we got BT8 Rapid, so there's -5 to the board, depending -5 up to 3 of your opponent's suspended Digimon. And then for every team you can suspend, really good. This is the starter deck one. It has blockers on itself, and then all turns you can, when this becomes suspended, -4. And then inheritable, while this Digimon suspended, it gains +1k, which is really good, right? And then at his level 5s, he's running a total of 3 aces. So 2 Andrew Woman aces and 1 Magna ace. Always really good cards in my opinion. You don't probably need them as often in this version, just because of you can warp basically. You can skip the level 5 into your 6s, which is kind of crazy. And then at your 6s, for Magna X, this is the big bad of the formats. It didn't do as well as a lot of people thought. Being a tricolor is crazy. When Digivolving, if Magna X or an Armor Form trade card is in this Digimon's Digivolution card until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon gets +3k and isn't affected by your opponent's effects. So it has a giant immunity until the end of your opponent's turn, which is crazy. Then unsuspended. All turns will turn when a card is removed from a security stack. You may activate one of the Digimon Digivolving effects, so you're able to activate that effect on your opponent's turn as well, which is really crazy. And then you can always keep activating because it's such a crazy card. And then 2 Rapid X's. So what this does is evos for 3 normally, and it can evo for 4 over a Rapamon. So that's why you can evo over a gold, a low 4 Rapid into it, which is so cracked. When Digivolving, suspend all your opponent's Digimon. Then this Digimon may attack. All turns while Rapid or X anybody's in this Digimon digital cards, all your opponent's suspended Digimon get -4k. All turns with turn when opponent's Digimon deleted in battle, gain 2 memory. So that -4 can be pretty crazy, especially against Numemon. All their Digimon are like super weak, so that will always kill something, which is really good. And then at level 7, you have Room Mode, great card. And then its options, you got a lot of options. 3 Emissary Hope. This card is cracked. Being able to evo for 1 into any Digimon from 4 to 6 basically is super strong, super strong. And then he's running a Fire Rocket to get that good old aggression going. That's what I like to see. Swing with your Magna X 2 checks and then like unsuspend or some shit. It's pretty crazy. Same thing with the final Zubat punch, but it does a little more. It gives you that plus 3k DP, I think it is, and then reboot blocker. Let's see, plus 3k after the end of opposed turn. If this Digimon 60k or more, this Digimon gains blocker and reboot, and then second attack plus 1, which is really, really good. And then he's running 4 Awakening of Golden Knight. This allows you to Digimon into your Magnamons, any of them, for the cost of 3 basically, which is really good. And then Yellow Mem Boost, searching, always good. Heaven's Judgment, I'm surprised it's only at 1. This card is super cracked in this deck because you could do was a Neg 24 with Magnamon X on board and just killed everything. It's so crazy. And then at Tamers, we already know all the TKs. TK is such a crack card, so might as well run it at 4. And then the Mem Tamer makes sense. And then 2 Digimon Emperors, again, helps in that Numemon matchup for sure. Next we have is another yellow vaccine deck. This one is which one is this? 14th place yellow vaccine. This deck is a little bit different. You got a little bit different text going on. I see you got Kuda, obviously Pada, obviously the Uko for sure, and he's running this one of promo Padamon. This card is, in my opinion, low-key underrated. You can do a lot with it. So what this does is on play, you can search your security stack. You may add 1 yellow or black card with 2 or more colors amongst your hand, then recover 1. Every Digimon that's level 4 or higher, basically, outside your aces are dual colored. So you can grab literally anything, which is really, really great, and then recover. Low 4s, you already know, Rapids, and then Ulforceveedramon is given. Your low 5s is a given your Angewomon and Magna Ace, and then your low 6s a given Magna Ace and Rapid Ace, not Rapid Ace, Magna X and Rapid X as your level 6. Makes perfect sense, right? For yellow vaccine armors. And then 2 Rule Mode and 1 Dexmon. Those are really, really good card. No reason not to run them. And then Emissary, Physical Training, Awakening of the Golden Knight, and Megalospark as your options. Megalospark does, I think it's next 6. No, never mind. When you use this card, if you have a yellow team in play, reduce the cost by 1. So this is a 4 cost, potentially a neg 8 to the opponent's board, which is that's not bad. That's not bad, right? When you think about it. And then Tamers, 4 TK and 4 TK, the new one, and then 3 of the original what you call it? Memory Tamer TK. Grab a yellow, recover 1. Really, really good card. Next we have is the last yellow vaccine, which is 15th place Carlos Lujan Pais. Sorry if I butchered your name. Let's see what we got here. Padamon, obviously Pillowmon and Cubemon as different cards. Okay, so you got 1 that stops, your Digimon effects being played, Digimon being played by effects, and then Cubemon that stops reduction of Evos, really good floodgates, and then Uko for your searching, always good. Low 4s, 8 Rapids, makes sense. No Golden Veedramon, which is interesting. And then it has low 5s. You got a total of 5 aces, not bad. And then your 6 level 6s of Magna X and Rapid X. And then 1 Veedramon. Again, this is pretty good against the mirror or like regular armors, which is pretty good. And then Room Mode, Emissary of Hope, Physical Training, Awakening, Heaven's Judgment, kind of your usual suspects in yellow vaccine in general. And then Digimon Emperor, TK, great cards. Next we have is the 3rd place Blue Flare deck list. This is Wes Matthews Blue Flare deck, wrong spot. And a Spice, 8 Ukos, right? You gotta play 8 Ukos no matter what you're playing, right? In a deck like this that your rookies doesn't matter what they are, it's a perfect deck to run 8 Ukos in. And then he's running your 4 Gasmon. This is the one that on deletion you could play one of your low 4s basically. So Greymon, Male Bergermon, not the red one at least. And then your 4s, you got your Greymon for the Blue Flare Greymon that lets you on play search top 4, I believe it is. Let's see. Real top 4, add 2 cards with blue flare from the traits, and then bottom rest. If you have Kiryu in play, you may return 1 Miragegaogamon from your trash instead. Not bad. 3 red, the second attack plus 1 Greymon. It gives you that extra aggression the deck desperately needs. And then your male Birdramons. Male Birdramon lets you do on play one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level gains when attacking lose 2 memories, so that ice wall effect, pretty good. On deletion save, you're right now, and it has an inheritable of jamming, so that's pretty good as well. And the OG male Birdramon BT10, if you have Kiryu on play, you may return 1 Miragegaogamon from your trash. If you don't, play Kiryu from your hand instead. Solid cards. And then inherent when attacking, this stuns a Digimon, which is pretty good. And then of course you will have your middle Greymons, 5 of them. This one is not as good, the EX4 one, but the BT10 version is a really good card. So that's why you see that 4 and then 1 makes sense. I do really like this Vike Ace being able to, you know, ace played them is really good. So this lets you to DigiGuard 2 on one of your opponent's Digimon. Then none of the Digimon with one or fewer sources can suspend until the end of the turn. And then when attacking to one of your opponent's Digimon with one or fewer Digivolution source. Vike Ace is such a good card. So I could definitely see why he's running it, especially in Blue Flare. And then another usual suspect, Z Greymon. This lets you to Digivolve for 2 on a Metal Greymon, and then when Digivolve unsuspend, then you can gain 2 memory afterwards. If your Digimon has 2 more Digimon, gain 2 memory. Then place 1 blue Greymon, 1 blue that's the same effect, yeah. So you know, being able to unsuspend and like keep turn and swing again is really good. Options, you always gotta have Blazing Man Boost, the best card in the deck in my opinion, that searches top 6 and grab basically 3 cards at times. Really good. Full Metal Blaze is a nice tech choice. So this is return 2 of your opponent's level 4 low Digimon to their opponent's hand. Then if your opponent has 8 or more cards in the hand, return one of your opponent's level 6 or higher. So if they got a wide Numemon board, you know, get rid of a bunch of Numemons or Ukos, and then get rid of, you know, a Volk Ace potentially, and then like Overflow or something. You can do a lot with it. Can do a lot for sure. Full Moon Immediate Impact, great card. We already know. 2 Louis, and then 2 Kiriha and 3 Kiriha Nene. Those are the tamers that you need for this deck for sure. Next we have is 9th place, Ulforce Martin Lee's Ulforce deck. Shout out to that man. I know Huang Zero did also a deck profile on this deck as well. If you want to see more details of that, check out his channel as well. But you know, your rookie lineup is pretty usual at this point in Ulforce. Your searchers, the warp, and then the draw one, and then the gain of memory on suspend. His level 4's got Lanamon, hybrid for game, always good. Ulforceveedramon, I know he talked about this. That plus Rena, you can do a little combo on your opponent's turn. If they like force you to suspend, you got to Rena, gain the effect, his When Digivolve effect 2 on their turn, and could stop a lot of plays going. Magnamon, right? Magnamon is this ST Magnamon is such a great card. I think at this point, we're at a point where if you're playing a deck that has Vmon, you have to run this Magnamon because it's just such a crack card. Insecurity, you Digivolve 1, then you could Digivolve over Vmon, and then you get the 1 Digivolving, trash, you know, sources, and then bounce. Crack card in my opinion. Now his 5s, he's only running 5 because he only wants to see the main arrow V that lets you suspend, low top 3, grab all tamers, crack card. Ulforce, you already know what it does. Same with Ulforce X. You know, get your OTK going. And then Magna X, you know, if you can use that Magna X to Digivolve over Ulforceveedramon or even Magnamon, and you know, maybe slow down the game so they don't kill you as fast, especially Numemon or something. Really good card. And then options, 4 mental training is a must, and a blue men boost, definitely must. Tamer lineup, OG Tai Kamiya for sure, the V Tamer one, gotta have it. Promo Davis lets you play, you know, VMOS for free and stuff on play. Rena is a must for us. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Davis is a really good searcher, plus is a memory tamer, so that helps you with your combos with Ulforce, being able to keep turn and stuff. And then he's running Davis and Ken. This card is such a good card. Like, I thought it was all right on paper, but when you like play this card in IRL Digimon, like, it just feels so strong. Be able to every turn, start of your main phase, play a Vmon for free or Wormmon. It's so crack, especially if you got searchers going. It feels so good, and you just go into your combos with it. And then when your Digimon evolve into a blue or green Digimon by suspending this tamer, gain 1 memory. If DNA, trash sources. In this deck, you're never gonna get the DNA part, but being able to gain that memory is always really good. And then you have the one Manasaur. I'm sure this pops up every once in a while, being able to gain memory if you have 8 or more cards and if they have 8 or more cards. And then you gain the second effect as well. When your blue or red Digimon becomes unsuspended, you may suspend its tamer to return one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to his hand. So any annoying floodgates, any Ukos that's still chilling on board, get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? Next we have is I thought I closed all these ads. All right, we got Mirage. Which Mirage is this? 11 plays Joseph Kamrusen's Mirage deck. Mirage, we already know what Mirage is. This is a standard list. There's nothing that's different right here. The only difference is running that new Gaogamon for jamming, because that's such a good card. He also gains a memory too, I believe. Let's see. Both players draw 1 card, and if your opponent has 8 or more cards in hand, or this Digimon has 3 or more sources, gain 1 memory. So this could be a 1-cost Evo, which could be very important. And then inheritable jamming as per usual. And then his level 5 lineups. 0 Ace. The one on Mirage. The BT11 Mirage. And then this is the new choice they're using a lot now. It's the BT13 Mirage, because when attacking, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, for the turn, this Digimon attack target can be switched. So especially if you're in that Magnamon X matchup or Tyrant or something like that, they cannot block or redirect your attack. So you just go through your full OTK combo like it's nothing. Then, you know, Mirage, you already know burst mode, mental trainings, blue mem boost, yada yada yada. Thomas, you already know. Surprisingly, he's running for the full 5 eggs, which is pretty cool to see. Next is the last Mirage list, which is, this was the 16th place Steven Niag. I don't know how to say the last name. Sorry. Nguyen Nigayan. I'm not sure. I apologize so much. I'm so sorry for butchering your name. Basically the same list, you know what I'm saying? Nothing too crazy. Only difference is he's running this Amphi-Ace for anyone who doesn't know this, because this card doesn't get played that much. Ace card, so you already know you get the Blast Digivolve. When Digivolve, you may trash up to 4 blue cards in your hand. For each one, trash 1 card under your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Then return one of their Digimon or Tamers without cards under it to the hand when attacking. By returning 3 cards with Jellymon and text from your trash to the bottom of the deck, this Digimon gains Sextile +1. You're really not going to get it for that. You really just probably use it for the Blast Digivolve, and then trash sources, and then bounce up to the hand, which isn't too bad. I'm sure that helps with Mirage, shenanigans, gaining memory and stuff. Really good. And at options, because you already know what the level 6 and 7s are. Ice Wall, of course. Mental Training, Blue Men Boost, Full Metal Blaze. We talked about Full Metal Blaze earlier. Really good card in this formatting. I think this is a card that you're going to see a lot more of now, because you're able to return 2 of your opponent's low 4 low Digimon. We're running in a Numemon format. There's a lot of low 4s under on board at all times, so it's able to clear board and then potentially kill something that's higher as well. Really good card. And then your double time assist. And finally, we see armors, a regular armor deck. This is 12th place Charles West Magnamon X deck. The Boogeyman format. I mean, we have yellow vaccine armors too, but this is what it was meant for. Armor based deck. They are running this new Demi Vmon, which is all turns. When this Digimon has 2 or more colors, it gains +1k. So your Magnamon X will always be a minimum of 13k, which can avoid certain effects, And rookie lineup, you're gonna have your searchers. You have your Ulforceveedramon. You have the this is the promo one. So when this Digimon will Digivolve, reduce the cost by 1 of your blue tamer. And then the new Vmon. So this new Vmon states your turn. When one of your other Digimon is played or Digivolves, if it has a free trait or it's green, gain 1 memory, so you're able to facilitate some memory gain. And then inheritable plus 2k on your turn, which is pretty good. Low 4s, he's running all the Magnamons, which makes sense. Low 5s, he's running 3 Zooted Aces. I think Zooted Ace still has room in this deck if you need it. Maybe just hard drop it, or even if you have to Evo it over one of your Magnamons, if you don't have a Magnamon X or something like that, can still be very beneficial. And finally, level 6, only 4 Magnamon X's, the bread and butter of the deck, being able to, do a lot of shenanigans with it is crazy. 2 Dexmon. I think Dexmon is a must in like 99% of decks in this form, just because how wide everything get. And a lot of decks are running a lot of tamers now too, so that helps with the reduced play cost as well. And then options, Final Zubagaon Punch, get your Magnamon X super big and buffy, buff, and swing 2 checks is always really good. And then also spend swing 2 checks possibly, crazy stuff. Mental training, grab any of your Digimon, at least outside Dexmon, it's pretty good. Awakening of the Noble Knight, right? 2 of it. The Golden Knight, I'm sorry, I don't know why I thought Noble. I am falling asleep, that's probably why. Being able to Evo into your Magnamon X for 3 costs is really good. And then Heaven's Judgment at 3, this card is super cracked with Magnamon X. I mentioned it earlier in one of the yellow vaccine armors. Being able to neg 24 with just Magnamon X on board is such a crack thing to do. And then your tamers, 4 Davis, and then 2 Shu. So for anyone who doesn't know, probably like, why is this card in this deck? This is a memory tamer. 2, you can mind link this card with a Digimon with X antibody or DigiPlease. So you can mind link this with Magnamon X, and in all turns Digimon get into Alliance and Reboot, so you're able to swing more checks at once with your Magnamon X and getting pretty buff as well. If you have Final Zubagaon Punch plus Alliance, you're doing 3 checks at once with like a giant Magnamon X. I think it's a pretty good combo in my opinion. And that wraps up Play TCG's online regional, guys. If you if you like this content, please do us a favor and subscribe to us and hit that like button. And if you guys have any thoughts on a lot of these deck lists, especially with the new tech of Edamon, please let us know in the comment section for us. And with that being said, your boy Dan's about to head out, and peace. Catch you on the next one.